Welcome guys to another episode here on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and thank you so much for being here and checking out another episode. As promised in the last Automobilista 2 episode, today we will check out the weather features specifically on the Nordschleife. And I'm actually quite curious about this. I thought long and hard about which car to choose, and as you can see here I've chosen the Evo, mostly for the reason that I want a car that I can play with a little bit at the limit. I didn't want a high downforce car that's just rear-wheel drive, mid-engined and twitchy. I wanted something that I can throw around, feel the different levels of wetness, so to speak, of the track condition. So this will be a relatively short race, just a 2-lap race, but we will start with slight rain or light rain, and then we will go into something that's a little bit more interesting or exciting. And yeah, let's check out the setup real quick. So we should have wet weather tires by default, but let's just make sure that is installed. Let's check out our fuel. We have enough fuel for 2 laps. That's awesome. Boost pressure is at 100%, no traction control, and we will leave the ABS on. So yeah, just a very quick and dirty race. We have 15 opponents, and I am really curious to experience this track in the wet in this car. Just if you're wondering, these cars do not have headlights for whatever reason, because I was just doing a test recording and I was quite confused about the headlights not coming on. Apparently they don't have headlights. They're just stickers or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's get to racing, and yeah, I don't have any predictions for this one. So strength of the AI is set to 95%, aggression to 50%, which should be kind of a decent middle ground value, I suppose. So yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's hop right into the car and let's get to racing here. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Crappy start. Come on, Alex. Okay, we're getting bumped around. Oh god, there's a car on my inside. How did he get in there? Okay, anyway, let's focus on the race, let's focus on the track, let's focus on the car. Let's try to get a feel for this. Immediately the force feedback hits you already, because it's just amazing. Okay, let's try to find a space where we can overtake. It's not quite that easy here. Yeah, the force feedback hits you immediately. It feels so strong and lovely in your hands. It's really, really, really enjoyable. Oh yeah, I can feel the tail sliding around a little bit. Let's try to use our slipstream here. Come on, dude. I want to pass. Let me pass. There we go. So 330 horses in this car, not the fastest car, but all-wheel drive, sequential gearbox. Now that I say sequential gearbox, I just remember that I've been clutching on upshifts, which I don't need to do. 6 gears only, top speed of roughly 240. Oh yes, over 200 kilometers an hour in this left-hander, which is pretty impressive, considering it's already raining or drizzling a little bit. So here we go, full throttle. This is so interesting because I've just been driving this track for real just a couple of weeks ago, so it's still very fresh in my mind, and going through these corners just reminds me of what it felt in the real car. And yeah, that's very interesting. Come on, come on, come on. Let me pass. There you go, there you go. There you go. I'm on the inside. I will get past him. No idea what my position is. Okay, let's be careful to not miss any braking points. Oh, this is good fun. This is good fun. Okay, let's try to play with the car a bit at the limit. Try to get it to slide, but I also want to get obviously a good position. Wow, it grips extremely well for these conditions. It feels like it grips a little bit too well, to be honest. But then again, this is a race prepped, track prepped car, and it's an Evo, so by default it's not a slow car. Feels extremely predictable and controllable even in these conditions. I'm quite curious to see what will happen when the weather... Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, okay. Understeer there. Fell out of boost. Yeah, I'm quite curious to see what happens when the conditions decrease. Come on, come on! We have to catch up to these guys in front. Downshift to third, late apex. There we go. Grip, 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 grip. So, I'm waiting for the rain to get worse. It will probably happen when we finish the first lap. Yes, this is so interesting. Oh, look at that. We get some spray talking about the weather getting worse. And it's happening right in front of our eyes. Actually, it's so bad that the visibility is becoming an issue. Whoa! Also, the grip is becoming an issue. It seems like the AI has... Oh my god, this is actually quite unnerving. We're driving blind. It seems like the AI has more trouble with the rain than I have. They seem to be slowing down quite a bit, as you can see here. Which I suppose is good, because now we don't have to drive in their spray and drive blind. Wow, look at that, little puddles forming down here in the carousel. Grip, 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 grip. Okay, I think we actually are in first place, so that means we can now just enjoy the car and play with it a little bit. Little bit of a flick into the... Oh, yes. Hello. Let's try... Oh, yes. A little bit of four-wheel drifting here. Oh, come on. This car could use another 100, 150 horses. Oh, shit, 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 shit. That was my mistake. Here we go, here we go. There it is, there it is. Four-wheel sliding. Okay, my lines are crap. Look at all these brave people standing here in the rain just to watch us race. Come on, YouTube corner. Wow. that sounded weird. A tire noise. Yes. Oh, this feels good. This feels good. So, in terms of realism, it is extremely tricky to reproduce wet weather driving in a sim, is my personal experience. I have a lot of real-life experience with a high-powered four-wheel drive car in all kinds of conditions, on snow, on wet roads, and overall I feel like the transition between grip and slide is still too gradual here, especially for wet conditions. In wet conditions you usually have a much more snappier transition between gripping, 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 and suddenly it breaks. And I'm missing that, to be honest. That being said, I'm not sure what kind of tire is being simulated here. If we have a tire that's specifically made for wet weather driving, that might be a slightly different story. So I don't want to call this unrealistic, but it feels a little bit too easy. at the moment. But let's keep going. Let's see what we can do here on the next lap. We will try to drive as sideways and crazy as possible because apparently 95% was way too slow. Alright, 235 kilometers through the bridge, down into the compression when it's really raining buckets, bit of understeer here. I'm also missing a handbrake on this car. It doesn't have one. Oh shit, my mistake. Kind of wanted to connect 3 drifts, didn't quite work out. So anyway, let's head on to lap number 2. Come on. Too much grip. I feel like there's too much grip. I think even with 330 horses and 4-wheel drive, you would get more slip in this condition. It still basically feels like dry weather driving, but with reduced grip overall. It does not feel like wet weather driving that I know from real life. I have to say that again. Visually though, it's pretty stunning. The atmosphere has changed, now it's getting darker. But yeah, these slides, it's all too smooth, it's too progressive. It needs to be more abrupt when you're driving in these conditions. Also, overall cornering speeds feel too high for these conditions. Let's test that in the upcoming fast left-hand corner. So in real life, I did that, I think at about 170. Oh, nice bolt of lightning there. Okay, 160, 170. Okay. We're a little bit slower. But still, in these conditions, nice little slide. It feels like the grip should be a lot less than what we have here. So, through the foxhole. Visually, again, it looks very, very good. Come on, slide. Also, is it cutting power even though traction control is completely off? Kind of. I'm missing that in second gear, pinning off the ref limiter, sliding all 4 wheels. I miss that completely. It's yeah, I gotta say again, it feels to me like dry weather driving, just with a little bit of a modifier on top, and that modifier is not nearly intense enough. I mean, it is fun and it feels like a very well set up 4-wheel drive car, so it basically does what it's supposed to do. You can connect slides, it feels good, but it does not feel like wet weather driving feels in real life. And again, it's a very, very, very tricky task to replicate that in a sim. Oh my god, come on. Look at that fog rolling over the track there. It's really pretty. Yeah, but I gotta say, in terms of the physics now, I'm slightly disappointed. I had expected a little bit more. And I was especially curious because wet weather driving was already an issue in Project Cars 2, specifically for this reason. Although Project Cars 2 had these annoying puddles, and we don't have any puddles here to speak of, by the way. Or actually there were a few in the curb there. I correct myself. But yeah, Project Cars 2 had these annoying puddles that spun you out immediately, which was supposed to simulate aquaplaning, but they were overdoing it a little bit. We don't have that here, but it's still it shares that feeling with Project Cars 2. I've just went through that left-hand kink at over 200 kilometers an hour while it's pouring down buckets. You shouldn't be able to do that. And the issue is the same as in Project Cars 2, that it doesn't really feel like wet weather driving. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And I thought it would be better. Again, visually stunning, but it does not. Again, this situation, second gear, it's pouring down buckets, flooring it mid-corner. There's just way too much grip. There's just way too much grip. Okay, we had a huge puddle down there in the carousel. It seems like, okay, now the puddles start to form. It seems like the puddles form gradually over the course of the race, which is nice and it's realistic. Whoa, we just flew off the track completely. Go on, get back on here. So the evolution of the track surface over the course of the race seems to be very well done. But yeah, it does not really feel like wet weather driving to me, I'm sorry. But that just means that there's still room for potential for the awesome dev team to further improve their sim. And yeah, I know my lines and turn-ins are very, very abrupt and not very clean, but I'm just trying to get the car to slide, get a feel for it. Yeah, a little bit disappointed, I gotta say. This would probably be more fun in a rear-wheel drive car, because the overall grip limit is just a little bit reduced and you should probably be able to slide it really well. Yeah, no, this is, it doesn't drive like it looks, that's for sure. That is for sure. And that's the difference between a sim and real life, regardless of the weather right now, mind you, but parts like this that I just drove almost full throttle the whole time, you just, I won't say that you can't do that in real life, but it's, I don't know, there's a difference. Obviously, you don't have to fear for your life or for your car when you're driving here. But I notice that every time when I drive the Nordschleife, there are parts where I wouldn't even think about not flooring it here in the sim, where I just lift in real life. Sometimes because it feels like I reach some kind of limit, sometimes because I just don't want to risk too much, but there's still a difference. Anyway, we're coming up to the end of this race. Note to self, 95% is not even close in terms of AI strength. And yeah, I gotta say again, visually it looks great. In terms of the driving sensation, I have to say it's not, in my humble opinion, not even close to what wet weather driving feels in real life. I have to say it, I'm sorry. I have to be honest about that. But then again, it is extremely tricky to pull off. Again, I wanted to connect that slide. Way too much grip, way too much grip, way too much grip. I wanted to try a donut or something to see if that works. Yeah, guys. Best lap 8 minutes 28 seconds, which is kind of meaningless in these conditions. So, yeah, that was that. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought it would be a noticeable step above project cars 2, and it probably is in many ways, but it's still very far away from what I personally feel like a all-wheel drive car should feel in these conditions, or generally a car should feel in these conditions. There's just too much grip, and I appreciate how difficult it is to code this different situation where the tire contact patch meets the road, but you have that third element, which is the water, and how it interacts with the tire and the road and builds kind of a layer which varies depending on your tire profile and tire mixture and the track conditions and temperature and all that kind of stuff. It's extremely tricky to get right. And yeah, but then again, AMS2 has so much going for it, especially force feedback, runs great in VR, so it makes up for that in a way. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you in the next episode. See you then guys. Bye bye.